What's up, Bang? I'm here in Kansas City, Kansas for my daughter's karate tournament. After she gets done kicking some girls in the head, we're going to visit one of our local gun ranges here and see how we like it. So let me get out this range. We're going to freeze to death. See y'all there.
He say he be where the shooters be. I be where the shooters be. Trenches ain't nothing new to me, that's the best place to recruit for me. Sometimes I move with 20 men, sometimes it's only 2 or 3. He thought I was just talking, pulled up on him, had the fruit with me. I see clout chasing activists and phony politicians. Crooked police, word, this God is my witness. Say why it seem like the violence just won't stop, they pay attention. System designed to work this way, crime pays, it's finished. I done seen the truth, turn the man whole life around. He saving lives, he grew, he used to just brag on his body count. If I love
As always, I had to go online to see what folks had to say about the Bullet Hole gun range. On Google, the range gets a 4.1 review with 385 reviewers. The first review I came across was a 1-star review, and the comments from the reviewer were pretty damning. The reviewer says he has been there twice, and both times the staff members were rude to him. Another reviewer, who left a 2-star review, said he's been there 3 times, and all 3 times the older gentleman, who he assumed to be the owner, was rude to him all 3 times. The actual owner did reach out to the reviewer, asking him to give him a call so they could work out any issues he may have with the gun range. The most damning review, in my opinion, comes from the reviewer CoolCat0890. He says he brought his mother to this range to go shooting, and they were treated rudely by staff. CoolCat also said he received some looks that made him feel very uncomfortable. As a black man living in the 2A world, I have definitely got those looks that said, "You don't belong here." Those looks that made you feel uncomfortable. Those looks that made you never want to go back to that range again. And that is, in large part, why I started doing these range reviews. I go to these ranges and get my feedback so you can make an informed decision on which range you choose to visit. I give credit to the owner. He reached out to CoolCat and others who voiced their concerns. He does a good job of trying to resolve the issues of those with legitimate complaints. But as we all know, you can't please everybody all of the time. So let's head over to the range and see for ourselves, were the reviewers right or were they just over-exaggerating? So before we get into the gun range review, I just want to go over some of Kansas gun laws. Let's start with the population. Kansas has a population of about 2.9 million, with just under 3% of that population being concealed carry license holders. Kansas also honors all 50 states concealed carry license. And if you have a Kansas concealed carry license, it is honored in 39 states. Kansas is also a stand your ground and a castle doctrine state with a no duty to retreat. It is also a constitutional carry state, so anyone over the age of 21 can carry as long as they are legally able to. If you are 18 to 21 years old, you can apply for a provisional concealed carry license, which does have some limitations on where you can carry, when you can carry, and things like that. But you can carry as young as 18 in Kansas. While a Kansas concealed carry license only allows for you to carry a handgun, many of the non-lethal options are completely legal. Things such as batons, pepper spray, bear spray, tasers are completely legal for civilians to have. Only thing that comes to mind that isn't legal are brass knuckles. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're in Kansas, let me know. in the comment section. I'll appreciate that. So that wraps it up for my must-know laws of Kansas. But also remember, before traveling to any state, check the gun laws for yourself. They always change, as well as the laws of any state that you may be traveling through to get to your final destination. Before we go ahead and jump into the gun range review, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for me. And if you're not following us on Facebook, go ahead over to the Black American National Gun Club national chapter and check us out there, as well as on many other platforms. Thank you.
What's up, Bang? We're here in Kansas City, Kansas, at the Bullet Hole Gun Range. We're gonna go in, do some shooting, and see how we like it. You know, new city, new gun range. Let's get it done.
The very first thing that I noticed was the Bullet Hole Gun Range was smack in the middle of a residential neighborhood. If you look down the street to either side, you'll notice houses and apartment complexes. The next thing that caught my attention was that the bullet hole consisted of two buildings. The newer building is where they held classes like the concealed carry class, while the old building housed the gun range. When I entered the showroom, I found it to be cluttered, for lack of a better word. It didn't have the vibe of some of the other gun ranges that I visited in recent times. I got in line behind a young white couple who had just finished up on the range and were checking out. The gentleman helping them seemed polite and carried on small talk as he helped them. He finished up with the couple after about 10 minutes or so, and as I stepped to the counter, the staff member, without greeting me or saying anything, disappeared into the back. I stood at the counter waiting to be helped when I noticed another gentleman sitting at the far end of the counter working on a computer. He made eye contact with me, but said nothing. No greeting, no hello, no nothing. After almost another 10 minutes, a young Hispanic gentleman came from the back and helped me. He was polite and professional and got me set up with everything I needed to go hit the range. Just before entering the range, you pass by a small sitting area with an observation window that overlooks the shooters on the range. The shooting booths were a decent size, but if I'm being honest, I would have liked to have had a little bit more room. The old school bicycle crank on the wall is how you send your targets downrange and bring them back. The ventilation on the range was pretty good. There was no heavy smell of gunpowder. However, the temperature was freezing. There was a stark difference between the showroom and the gun range. There was a point where I put my jacket back on because the temperature was so cold and I was so uncomfortable. But I pushed through, stayed long enough to shoot off about 200 rounds or so. After my last shot, I did a quick cleanup job, packed up my equipment, and headed back to the showroom to check out. On my way out, I passed a couple of other black shooters, and to be honest, this did make me feel a little bit better about being here. So before we get into the gun range review, I just want to go over some of Kansas gun laws. Let's start with the population. Kansas has a population of about 2.9 million, with just under 3% of that population being concealed carry license holders. Kansas also honors all 50 states concealed carry license. And if you have a Kansas concealed carry license, it is honored in 39 states. Kansas is also a stand your ground and a castle doctrine state with a no duty to retreat. It is also a constitutional carry state, so anyone over the age of 21 can carry as long as they are legally able to. If you are 18 to 21 years old, you can apply for a provisional concealed carry license, which does have some limitations on where you can carry, when you can carry, and things like that. But you can carry as young as 18 in Kansas. While a Kansas concealed carry license only allows for you to carry a handgun, many of the non-lethal options are completely legal. Things such as batons, pepper spray, bear spray, tasers are completely legal for civilians to have. Only thing that comes to mind that isn't legal are brass knuckles. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're in Kansas, let me know in the comment section. I'll appreciate it. So that wraps it up for my must-know laws of Kansas. But also remember, before traveling to any state, check the gun laws for yourself. They always change, as well as the laws of any state that you may be traveling through to get to your final destination. Before we go ahead and jump into the gun range review, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for me. And if you're not following us on Facebook, go ahead over to the Black American National Gun Club national chapter and check us out there, as well as on many other platforms. Thank you. So after finishing up on the range, the same young man that checked me in also checked me out, and again, stellar customer service. This time, even the gentleman that was sitting at the end of the counter when I came in, he even came down and joined in the conversation that we were having, and even offered up a recommendation for what he thought was the best barbecue spot in Kansas City. So getting into the good and bad of it all, the one thing that really stands out is the one guy that checked me in, the one young man that helped me. Again, he saved the review. They would have got a much lower score in my book. I give them a D+, and again, it would have been much lower had I not bumped into the one helpful person that day. So he did an outstanding job. Another cool factor of the gun range was their patch. Their patch is really cool. I bought one and I am going to add it to my gun case now. Got the Velcro already ready for it, and there it is, the patch for the Bullet Hole gun range in Kansas City, Kansas. Now for the bad. I'm gonna list these in the order from what I felt was least important to most important, with the first being there was no discount for veterans. That kind of sucks. Next would be they wouldn't allow me to shoot my AR pistol. Not even allowed to have it in Illinois, so I had to go out of the way, pick it up from the state over before I headed out, and didn't even get a chance to shoot it, so that kind of sucked. Next, the temperature on the range. It was very cold down there, a little uncomfortable, so I have to, list that as a negative, but it's an easy fix. Turn up the temperature a little bit, everything will be good there. The most important thing was the customer service when I first arrived. I waited around for about 20 minutes before anybody ever said a word to me. I encountered 2 employees that never spoke to me. One went in the back, the other just said to enter the counter and carried on doing what he was doing until the one young man came out and helped me. Like I said, he saved the review in my opinion. He at least got them to a D+ in my book. But that is the main factor. You should always feel appreciated and wanted whenever you step into business, whether it's a restaurant, car dealership, or a gun range. The customer should feel appreciated. And for the first 20 minutes of my visit, I did not feel appreciated at all. So that will wrap it up for my review of the Bullet Hole gun range. If this type of content interests you, please give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel there, and drop us a like if you don't mind. We do appreciate it. And until next time, you know where you can find me.
I be where the shooters be.